Good morning, good morning, good morning, everyone. We are back. TBR SSF is the name of the show, which simply means TBR Solution Sports Forum. It is myself, the Sobri Boys, Wali Fatsi, doing the show. I'm all by myself again this morning, but but nevertheless, the beat goes on. Mushito Twelapi. We can't stop. As long as I have you on the side, that means Sisonke, we are together. Rekaufela, Remo, Rotle, Singwe. So as long as you answer Sam, all of you, welcome to the show. I'm sure yesterday or last night we watched the game of Bafana Bafana. They played very well, a very good game. And then I don't know. You must be having your own opinion. I'm also having my own opinion. Um, really, deservedly so, man of the match, and the rate he is going. For me, it looks like he's gonna be a serious contender for Football of the Year in the country. I don't know what is your opinion. The boy is so matured, calm, collected, and then you see that he applies his brains. I mean, the goal that he scored, you could see that the young man he knew what was supposed to happen. He was so relaxed, and then he picked up the spot. The level of maturity on relay is amazing. All right, it's very amazing. And then, of course, we are talking so many things. Is he going overseas and all that? If you ask me, I wish he joined Barcelona B. That's why I wish he can go. Because I think when he goes there, he will definitely develop. But that's not the only point that I want us to look at. I want to say big up to Dr. Danny Jordaan and the coach, Hugo Broos. There is a bit of hope around Bafana Bafana now. Bafana Bafana are now an attractive outfit. Unlike at some point, we're not taken serious. But now, I'm sure everybody wants to watch Bafana Bafana. The crowd last night was a testimony to that. The people are going out, and the level, the football that they are playing, it's very brilliant. And then as a result, that's what made people to come to the stadium and watch. Because if you don't play good football, no one will come to the stadium. I always argue and say, calling for supporters to attend the games, but you don't complement that with the football in the field of play. It won't work. Yes, I hear Hugo Bros has been lamenting that fact that really, please, guys, let's support Bafana Bafana. But they've done themselves a big favor. Now, if I look at the work that has been done by Hugo Bros, if I remember quite well, you'll also point out whether it's a point or not a point, what I'm saying. Bafana Bafana starting 11 was a problem. They were a team that were, they were not forcing anyone to watch them, even on TV, all right? But nowadays, sorry about this, nowadays, we go out there and make a point that we watch them, okay, because of the football that they're playing. Now, Hugo Bros, this is what impressed me most. He had a different approach in how to build Bafana Bafana. He started taking almost a player from each team. Now analyze that. I'm saying almost. I'm not saying from all teams. Almost from all teams, a player from all teams. Gave them a chance. It was not a concentration of one team giving us players. And then he started, he was attending games. with Helman Mkelele, and then in a quest of identifying talent. Out of the blue, there was a police, there was Mukwane, you named them. There were a lot. There was um, the boy who plays outside. What's his name again? Okay, yeah. But I'm sure you hear where I'm coming from. There were so many people or so many players that were unearthed that they were brought to fore. Okay, and then there was maybe the tournament, the what you call the local tournament whereby we play Namibia and Lesotho. You would call those fringe players and play them and watch them. You could see that he was watching them. And then slowly but sure, there was some feeder coming from that point. And as time goes on, the squad was dominated by Mamelodi Sundowns. All right. And then I know people were complaining why Mamelodi Sundowns and all that, but they were the winning champions. They were the winning champions not only in the country, they were doing well even in Africa. So he was justified. And guess what? They did well, those players. And then he continued. And then as time goes on, we've seen now recently the Pirates players now also being brought to the squad. But you cannot take away the fact that he tried to get all players, even Polokwane City contributed a player. Those kind of things when you talk about a police and so on. It took him a while to come up. Yes, recently, especially when he announced the recent squad, there were people complaining that they are not Chiefs players. I'm not going to come up with a judgment whether that was correct or not, but the fact that he's winning, that means it was correct. And I'm not cutting any aspersion on Chiefs players, all right? But I'm saying you have a coach. A coach has to select players among so many players. So he has limited players that he has to select. So he has chosen. And then, although having chosen the squad, if you look at that game yesterday, last night, there was no justification of why he left so and so. All right. And he has already indicated that come on Tuesday when we play Benin, he's going to rest the majority of key players. And then we saw how did he deal with the issue of pace it down. He pleaded with people to rally around Pesitau. But not only that, when the time was correct for him not to play Pesitau, he was not playing him. And then he brought him. And I'm sure you saw the football that Pesitau played yesterday. It shows that he's playing. So slowly but sure, we are being respected now. And then we are in the same group as Nigeria. Remember, Nigeria keep this year on about one, so all the time Nigeria give us a win. So we are having them. And I know as South Africans, we really, really want to see ourselves beating Nigeria. Nigeria has been beating us as far as I can remember. They've given us 4 at some point. Those times when we were called 4x4, Zimbabwe also gave us 4, and then the name of 4x4 came into picture. So we still have to deal with Nigeria. Banyana Banyana 2, also beaten by Nigeria many times and so on. Now, we are now 4 points clear of Nigeria. And then, so I heard him a post-match interview. He said, this is what he said immediately when he realized that we are with Nigeria in the group, that Nigeria is going to help us to win to qualify. And then he explains it that Nigeria is going to beat our opponents. And if we do our work and lead Nigeria as they beat our opponents will not catch up. And guess what? We are on top of the group, so which is good. So maybe that theory is correct. I don't know. Yeah, so that's why I'm saying Hugo Bros need to be congratulated. I know he's around 74 or so, and we hear that he says after this he wants to retire. But this guy is really building the team. And then he reminds me when Peter Musimane was building Mamelodi Sundowns, okay? So this is the kind of a coach that is doing well. And then guess what? I said Danny Jordaan too, in the same line. How do you judge a leader? Do you judge a leader, football leader? You judge him whether are we winning titles, are we doing well in the field of play. I'll give an example. We have John Laporta now as the president of Barcelona. He may not be my favorite now due to one thing. He didn't treat Messi well, so I wasn't happy about that, okay? He didn't treat Messi well. As far as I'm concerned, Messi was betrayed. But when it comes to football, Laporta is doing well. Barcelona is doing well with young players, which is good. And then, yes, they go to the market, but they rely on their La Masia, all right? And not only that, I mean, as a leader, your appointment is very important. The appointment of Hansi Flick was spot on. Look at what Hansi Flick is doing. Not only that, Laporta is building a stadium, state-of-the-art stadium, all right? This is happening during his reign. So that is why I'm saying, that's why you see a leader and say, oh, this guy is a leader, you know? And remember, Barcelona were mediocre, and then it rose during the time of um, Laporta, all right? So that is why I'm saying Danny Jordaan, we last did well during 1996. Even today, we are still celebrating the 1996 class, your Doc Kumalo, your Linda Buthelezi, all those players. After that, it has never been exciting. So now, with Danny Jordaan, Banyana, they've won AFCON under Danny Jordaan's leadership during Danny Jordaan's reign. And now we are much better. You know, for us to go to the quarterfinals of the CAF, there's always been a problem. And then with Danny Jordaan, we are there. I don't want to touch on other politics. That's part of another argument. But currently, in terms of in the field of football, I take my hands off for Danny Jordaan. Whether he's the one who appointed Hugo Broos or not, that is it's immaterial. As a leader, even if it was not him appointing him, whoever appointed him, that person was given space by Danny Jordaan as the leader of the federation. So that is why I'm saying these two gentlemen, they've done extremely well. We need to really to give them a round of applause. Yes, of course, we haven't done anything yet because we still have to move with AFCON and see how far we can go, and we still have to qualify for the World Cup, and then after qualifying for the World Cup, and then we still have to proceed and see how far we can go. So that on its own. And remember, during the era of Danny Jordaan, Mamelodi Sundowns is going to play the Club World Cup. So that is why I'm saying big up to the two guys. They have proven that they have that leadership. Well, in terms of SAFA going for elections and other argument and maladministration, that one belongs to another category. Here I'm looking at football, and I'm not a fan of. I'm not fan of Danny Jordan. I don't know him. I've never met him. I just know that Saddam and my colleague is the one who's close to him. But I'm not saying that because of that. No, no. I'm saying we need to be honest, and look at the facts and argue. Hence, I'm saying, for me, I don't know you. Uh, President Yama 2000, Udwenga, football of the ADC. I don't know where now what to take, but for me, the way I see this one goes to President Yama 2000. If he continues in this manner, and you know what excited me? This time, the coach started the game with him, and you could see that the boy welcomed it with open arms. And then what I like about the young man is always cool, level-headed, very well-mannered, and big up to his parents, well-mannered. So that for me, it gives me a bit of hope. And I listened to Dugu Makanya, and then he said he's not worried of winning the MDC championship. He's more worried of producing good players for Orlando Pirates so that Orlando Pirates stop relying buying players on the market. That's a good move. And this is what I've been saying at all times that the problem that Kaiser Chiefs is facing whenever they are looking for a player, the price is being inflated, all this and that, that can be dealt with by making sure that academy is producing good players. So a good thing for Tugu Makanya to say, as Pirates, they are just concerned about producing good players so that they can go to the first team. I think that's a good approach. And I've been saying this for Kaiser Chiefs. This is what Kaiser Chiefs did. And what they should do. And I said that the last show that I was doing, if there's anything that Kaiser Chiefs can do, if I was in a position of deciding, I would take Farouk Khan with his academy as a what scout for Kaiser Chiefs, and also take Pizzo's academy together, blend them, and have a relationship. Use those two as a springboard to build a Kaiser Chiefs. That would be my opinion. And then, and if you ask me, I don't think it would be ideal to fire Nabi now. Because this thing of firing coaches, that is why in business they talk about business turnover. The more people are leaving, it means something. So as you can see, my throat is always cluttered. I have to clear it. Can I clear it here? Now, so that's my belief. And then if, let's say, Chief decide to change a coach, I would plead with them, go for Pizzo. No one else, go for Pizzo. Don't put any condition. Allow Pizzo bring his entire team and Pizzo to transform Kaiser Chiefs because we've already seen that Pizzo has transformed Mamelodi Sundowns. So I don't think it will it will be a problem for him to do that again. Moreover, that Pizzo is a fan of Kaiser Chiefs, and then and then I'm bringing this subject of Pizzo because I'm looking at what Hugo Broos has done to Bafana Bafana. He has built Bafana Bafana from nowhere. And nowadays, we know Apollos, we know Mukwane, we know so many players. Nowadays, Jaden Adams now. And look, the way he treated Jay Adams, when he misbehaved, he took a swift action. But at the same time, he continues to say he's a good player. We need him in the squad. And look what Jay Adams is doing. And not only for Bafana Bafana, also for Mamelodi Sundowns. But big up to our football. It's rising again, and I think we deserve to be there. We deserve to be in those upper echelons, unlike all the time we find ourselves in the periphery. You know, we are a big country in terms of resources, in terms of everything, you know. I mean, South Africa is one of the best in the world. We are part of BRICS. Not everybody is part of BRICS. And then remember, we're part of the founders of BRICS. So we need to complement that by making sure that we dominate in every sphere that we find ourselves in. Now, let me remind you that we are a financial company, and then we are saying if you want to resolve anything that has to do with finance, the most important thing is to educate yourself. But unfortunately, there's no school that teaches about money, except you get it there, the street education, like what we are doing now. Okay, so we also mentor those people who wants to learn about business, about money. If you want to learn, you can just contact us. Drop us a WhatsApp. You'll see the WhatsApp number at the end of the show. Drop us a WhatsApp. We'll give you a call and then allow you to join our mentoring program. Not only that, and then we also have a number of programs that assist in terms of education. We have a number of books that we have written. Here's one book. It's called How I Turned 500 Rand into a Million Rand Business. You can learn from this book. I learn from others. And then, yeah, it's working. If it can happen for me, why not you? It will also happen for you. And then the other one is this one by a friend of mine, Dr. Darlene Small. The book called How to Win the Wealth Game, The Art of Money. This lady worked for the Reserve Bank for 33 years as advisors to governors of the Reserve Bank. And then now, listen to what he says. This book has been written in a very simple way because I like simplicity. All right. And then here's another book called Entrepreneur Awakening with a Drive by Nomsa Masbugo, who hails in Emalahleni. She runs various businesses. One of them is the hospitality business. She's now currently having almost more than 100 rooms in her hospitality business. And then the other book that I wrote, which I think is critical nowadays, to buy this one, because it will help you how to get out of bad debts, use other people's money and resources to get rich. Because what sink people is debts. All right. This book has different strategies. Strategies like how can you pay all your debts by simply adding extra 100 rand to your installment. 100 rand, not more than that, okay? And then there's also another strategy of debt review, which is a legal strategy. Check that one because at the same time, remember when they want to repossess or your assets, your property, your car, they have to go to court. They have to go a legal route. So it will also teach you those things. All right. And then the first book that I wrote, which comes in different format, Secrets for Becoming Rich, first edition and second edition. You can also get this book from us if you want to learn. And then how I turned 500 into a million rand business. Um, that one, you can also get it on Amazon as an ebook. If you want the book as an ebook, you can get it on Amazon. Over and above that, yes, we have a number of people who have been tricked to be under debt review. All right. And then they were told, no, we are doing debt consolidation. And by those scrupulous debt counselors. And to be honest with you, the majority of such debt counselors are from Cape Town, the majority, not the majority of debt counselors. I'm saying those who are doing those unpalatable behavior, unacceptable activities in the industry, they are from Cape Town. I'm sure NCR even knows about this. And some they're from Durban. It's very bad. They say to people, they say, no, you're doing a consolidation, it's not debt review. The next thing, it's a debt review. And a person can't be able to make credit anymore. And then, but I want to thank you so much for to continue to subscribe and then comment on our show. I really appreciate and continue to like. And then, yeah, so the beat goes on. Rekaofela, Remo, Sisonke, Rotle, Singwe, Onsesana. So please, Mushito Tsolapili, let's move on. Thank you so much. Much appreciated. Bye bye. Hi everyone, my name is the Sober Voice Wale Fatsi from TBR Solutions, which is a financial company. Here I'm representing TBR Financial Services, an authorized financial service provider. I'm currently talking to the members of GPF, especially those who are contemplating to either resign or retire sometime this year. Now, I want to bring some information to your attention, which is very, very crucial because it will have an impact on your money or the final money that you get. GPF has what you call the actuarial interest factor. Okay, so these factors, they are being factored in terms of your calculation. It is done every 2 years. The last one that was done in June 2022. So now, if you look now, we are in 2025, which means the 2 years has already lapsed. So the chances are the factor will be factored again this year in June. So if probably you are thinking of leaving in terms of resignation or early retirement or retiring, but you want to transfer your money from GPF to an independent fund. Like for instance, we are working with GPF and then we transfer the money from GPF to Allen Gray. Now, if that is the case, now let me tell you what happened. I had a discussion with a colleague of mine from Allen Gray, and then she was telling me that a client in 2022 was leaving, and then a client had about 8 million as a resignation amount. And then in 2022, when they factored in that actuarial interest factors, then her money went up to 5.2 million. So you can imagine the money that has been affected there is 2.8 million. That's a huge amount, okay? But those will remain with GPF. There's no problem. It will never affect you. It affects especially those who are transferring. But transferring also has its own benefit. You may say, no, I'm not prepared now to transfer. It has its own benefit. Because when you transfer, there are some benefits that you get that you may not get when you are with GPF. All right? Now, for instance, I'll give you an example. The resignation amount of this example that I've put on the screen here, it's 6.8 million. So that person that they were telling me about was 8.8 million. So after the factor was factored, it went to 5.2 million. 2.8 million was affected. Now, if you want to avoid that, to make sure that your money is not going to be affected, and then you may do it as soon as now before June, so that you start the process of either resigning or early retirement. All right, so that you're not affected, especially if you're not going to transfer. Now, let me give you the importance of transfer or the benefits of transfer. Now, remember GPF talks about 5-year guarantee benefit, all right? In other words, your money, it's a 5-year guarantee. For 5 years will be guaranteed that will be any, whatever that will be any. For instance, if you look at this example, right on top there, this is the amount 49,000 that the member will earn every month. The lump sum is 2.1 million. But I don't want to talk about all those for now. Just wanted to talk about the actuarial interest factor. If you want more, you can simply contact us, then we can deal with the situation. and we'll deal with the situation looking at your own specific situation. So now, if, like I said, if you really wants to leave, you can leave as early before June so that when they factors in, your money is not affected. Now, the good about the transferring, this is the statement of GPF. This person had 6.8 million and then in the kitty. But in case, remember I said it's a 5-year guaranteed. One day after 5 years, you pass, the condition changes. Now it says the resignation amount is 6.8. In case of death in service, if you die, the amount that the person will get is 4.9. No more 6.8. Can you see that? That's the difference. 4.9 instead of 6.8. So, but when you transfer, instead of getting 4.9, even if you passed on, your nominated people, be biological or not biological, as long as they were nominated by you, they will still benefit whatever remains from 6.8. So the chances they can also get 6.8 as compared to 4.9. So that's the benefit of transferring. All right, you are able to leave what you call a legacy. So now, if you are thinking of leaving as we speak now, and then either in a form of resignation or early retirement, especially those who are 55 years and above, and then remember that the actuarial interest factor will be factored in June. So you may start now preparing yourself to exit now so that you are not affected. So where you can reach us, our WhatsApp number is 067 915 1447. 067 915 1447. Or else you'll see the number at the end of the video. I thank you.